Thanks for checking in with Matt's Mind. I want to show you what I've made this time. This here is the Shadow Hawk. This is my version of like a Black Hawk helicopter in classified scale, and I'm pretty excited about this one. So just for kind of reference, I have Shockwave over here and one of the bikes, just so you can kind of see how large this actually is. This is one of the bigger items I have. All right, so you can see that going there. Let's get him out of the way so I can start moving stuff around. We'll kind of go front to back. We'll come back to this in a second. So it fits most figures just fine inside. There's room for one to each side. Let's see if I can get this in frame. Get this guy out of the way. So one to each side there. They each have a control stick, and there's one collective stick in the center there that you can pull from. The cockpit is pretty detailed with dials and buttons. There's some on kind of the top there too. Let's see if I can get this. You can see, oop, just dropped a figure out the back. That's okay. So let me get this up so you can see what's going on in there. Maybe. Oop, bump the camera. Kind of tough to see. It's a big one. It is. On the front for armaments, we've got our miniguns to each side and the missiles. And then there's lights on the front here. When I make these are all made to order. So you can pick some pre-decided custom or pre-decided colors on the selection screen there, or you can do custom colors, and that includes you know, things like the lights on the front or those missile tips. We can change those up as well. On the sides, obviously, you can notice that we have these crane arms, and it will come with two foot loops, like this guy right here, and it will come with two hooks, like this guy right here, and there'll be one of each installed, but you could switch it out so they match if you want to do that. As far as weight rating, this was designed to hold figures. You could probably get away with, you know, suspending like a smaller vehicle like this. I don't know that I would swing a Vamp or anything larger off of that, but kind of you do you. That's just my disclaimer there. And then on the sides here, we have articulated miniguns, one on each side. And this, again, as I always tend to do, you can pop this out, and this will fit the gridiron mounted weapons. And let's see, inside here, see if I can get this pulled out. I made these so they could come out. They're on magnets. But it has a rack in the front and in the back. Of course, everything's harder on camera. There it goes. Okay, so we do have magnets. This slides in there. There'll be a little arrow on this, just kind of reminds you which way's up. Doesn't really matter. The only reason I do that is because when I put these magnets in, I orientate them so that they obviously attract to each other. So just in case something got spun around and they're not all exactly the same, arrow lets you know how I got it in there. And these are sized to fit most peg backpacks. If anything, it's a little undersized, so you can kind of file them out. There are a couple, though, that I know are oversized as far as the backpack pegs that may require a little bit of extra to hold them in there. I've found if you ever do see that, and these are obviously tight, I'm trying to twist them back and forth because I don't want to break the pegs off, because, I mean, this is PLA kind of hard plastic. But if it's oversized on the hole and these are too small, just take some like red lithium grease and put on there, and it's not a permanent change to it, but it gives it enough kind of friction, which is odd with being greased, but it gives it enough to kind of hold it in. But like I said, these are fit. But if you ever run into that, that's a kind of an easy way to get them to fit in there. So that comes out, and there's one in the back here. Again, doing this on camera, hard to get to. A lot easier in person. There it is. And so there's a smaller one in the back, and I just have a weapon attached to it. To do this, I just got some shock cord, and just kind of put a loop on each side and put them through the hole and just wrap it around whatever weapon, or this one, the grappling hook, to hold it on there. And those just pop back in. It's kind of spaced in there. If I was going to put this back in there, that it'll just catch. If it's going to be in and out a lot, it'll just catch, and it'll hold it in there just fine. But if it's going to be kind of more permanent, you can push it in even further, and it kind of locks in the hole too, just through friction as well. And inside there are swiveling seats for the gunner. And if you wanted to remove those, you can pull up here, and there's a little peg, and those will come out if you needed more space, but I haven't run into that yet. And then one little thing on here too, that those of you that have already bought this and haven't seen this video yet, you may have not noticed, behind the seats there is a little shelf. Let's see if I can get it so you can see. It's hard to see in there. You can kind of see it in the back of the shelf there. It was just space that was available, so I put it in there. Not really intended for anything in particular, but it's there if you need it. If the spacing inside of it is big enough, you could take Doc's stretcher. You could put that in there. Poor Dusty, not feeling too good. So that kind of fits in there pretty good. And then this guy on Etsy, he doesn't know who I am, but I really like these. I'll write it down here so I won't forget it. It's SYS, as in SYS 3D Arsenal. You can get them either printed from him, or you can get the STL files and print them yourself. These are cool boxes. They print really well. I have some just extra accessories laying inside of there, but they pop open. There's a shelf that goes in there too. Like I said, I just got, like junk in there. But what I like about it is they fit in there really good. So in case you wanted to set that up. Again, he doesn't know who I am. You can find him there on Etsy. If I can figure out how to do it, I'll put a link there in the video description so you can go see his stuff. It's just really nice. Alright, that pull there. So again, nice big cavity in there. You can kind of use your imagination on what you want to do. We kind of have these running boards on the side. And obviously you can set a figure down on that if you want. If you want to suspend this somewhere or put it up kind of high up for display and you're kind of worried about figures falling off, I did put some zip tie holes in there, kind of spaced out, so you could get around the leg or around the waist or something like that to hold them in there. Any figure that's sitting inside there and holding onto this is pretty stable. All right. Let's go back to the cranes for a second here. So they do extend down, and there's a little roller in here that pulls them up, just like so. And I put a little O-ring in this, so there is enough resistance that you don't have to extend all the way out if you're hanging a figure off of it, and it'll hold them up. Like I said, though, it's not really rated for anything larger than something like this, other than a figure. It's just going to pull it straight out. Probably still stay attached, but you won't have any kind of adjustment there. The rotors obviously turn. So does the back one here. This spins as well. Let's make sure it's in frame so you can see what I'm talking about there. Well, hold on. It's big. So see that spins back there as well. Okay. When I ship this, these blades will not be installed. There's just an H clip on the side of it, and you just push it till you hear a click, and then it's in there. That's just so that things don't break moving around. Kind of get this so you can see the back some. Okay. The logo, you can obviously pick whatever logo you want from the drop down in the store, but I also do custom ones. It's not really that big of a deal to model one out. If it is something super highly detailed, I can let you know if it's going to print okay or not, but so far any of the custom ones I've done, they've all worked out pretty good. Color wise, there's some kind of pre-labeled ones on there just for ease, but I do all of these to order just because of the size of it. I'm not going to keep a stock of these, and it does kind of take a long time to print. It's like over a 90-hour print. So colors we can work on if you want something other than what's kind of listed there. I try to put up some pictures in there of some of the other custom ones that we've done. We did one in Coyote brown and I just thought it looked really cool. If I can find more of that brown to keep it on as more of a consistent color, I think I'm gonna add that to the lineup because it just prints really nice. And let's see. Oh, other things. So on the top here, yeah, let me get it so you can see. So this black thing right here. Where are you? There. You can slide a zip tie through that. It's printed in orientation that makes it as strong as you can kind of make PLA when you're printing. So there's a hole in there that'll take a zip tie, and then this hole back here is also printed. Let's see. This hole back here is also printed in that same kind of orientation where the walls are going this way, not side to side, but it's pulling against the strongest part. I would put a zip tie through that as well if you want to suspend this up in the air. I've had the prototype one hanging up for a couple of months and nothing's happened to it. However, I can't, as of right now, recommend that you leave it hanging indefinitely. Do so at your own risk. It's kind of up to you, but that's kind of my disclaimer there. It's meant for you to hang it up if you need to temporarily, but I don't know over time how long that would hold. But I would definitely use a zip tie in that so it doesn't start cutting through the plastic. Just to give it some more surface tension. I'm trying to see, is there anything else we've missed here? That's kind of all the features we got going on this so far. Kind of housekeeping stuff here. I've had people reach out, they want a stand or they want a helipad, and I'll say that those are in the works, but they don't exist yet. There's some other prototypes I've got working right now, some other stuff that's going to come out in the store. I just kind of got it lined up. On that end, more printers are coming so that I can maybe turn these around faster. I think I've done a pretty good job getting them out quick. I've not had anybody complain, but I would like to be able to crank them out faster than I do currently. But to do that, printers are running kind of nonstop at this point, and that's a good thing. So we're adding more printers as we can, and be able to keep up with orders and maybe be able to prototype a little bit faster and get more stuff out to you guys. I do really appreciate all the people that are buying things. It's helping out a lot, and it's really humbling, actually, too, some of the comments and conversations I've had, and I really appreciate it. On that note as well, I know nothing in the store is exactly cheap, but there are kind of also high margins dealing through Etsy. So I make enough to make it worthwhile doing, but there's not a lot of meat there for me to adjust things. As of May 2025, the tariffs haven't hit anything I'm producing terribly bad. I haven't really noticed anything in filament yet. So right now I'm keeping everything as is, going forward with the pricing as it is. I just want to kind of give a heads up that there's not a lot of give there. So if filament starts going up, I'll have to adjust them. But as of right now, I'm not seeing any of that. So we'll just kind of maintain course here and see how that goes and keep trudging along. Second to that, in comments, kind of let me know. I was thinking about making larger versions of certain categories and smaller versions just to kind of give different price points. Like, this is sort of a Black Hawk version. Would you guys be interested in possibly a less featured, cheaper Little Bird version? Would you be interested in probably a more expensive, a little bit larger Chinook version? Just kind of gauging what the want would be there. Or do you just want completely different stuff? Like, there's some more land vehicles, obviously, that I'm working on now. There's some more accessories that can go with the kind of the bar series that I have going on. But just kind of let me know. Other than that, yeah, so I'm excited about this one. I hope you are too. And if you have any questions about it, just hit me up through Etsy. That's the best way to get in contact. But I'll also try to check the messages on these videos as well, for as long as I can, whenever I think to. All right. And again, I appreciate you stopping by. Have a good day.